Anthony Hunkler here with Magne Shade, and in today's video we'll be showing you how to install the windshield shade utilizing interior magnets as well as upper black exterior magnets. Now, regardless of what year, make, and model you have, this video will show you how to install the windshield shade using this magnet configuration. The first thing we want to do today is get these shades out of the plastic and put them in direct sunlight. What this is going to do is heat up the fabric and allow all the wrinkles caused by the shipping process to come out. Now that the windshield shade's relaxing in the sun, let's go over what this customer got with their windshield shade, starting off with the storage bag. Now, this is an optional item, something that we highly recommend that you get. As you leave the resort or the campground, you can roll all of your shades up and they will all fit in the storage bag. Next, what's included with each windshield shade is the telescoping rod, and this is critical for actually putting up the shade once the magnets are installed. Next, the components necessary for today's video and actually installing the windshield shade. Now that we've located the install kit, let's go ahead and get these components out and then go over them one by one. First up, we have the magnets. You'll notice that we have 3 different types of magnets. 2 different sized interior magnets that are separated with the red spacer. And then we have our low profile black exterior magnets. Next, we have the silane primer, and this is for the preparation of any exterior glass. And what this does is creates a moisture barrier that allows that adhesive to cure properly, especially in humid conditions. Next up, we have the adhesive. Now, we package this separately, specifically for the exterior magnets. And then last off, we have a couple of brochures we send with every order and the installation instructions specific to this install type. Because these magnets are so strong, a tip I'm going to give you guys is removing them one by one and placing them on something metal. So what we like to use here at the shop is nothing fancy. It's simply the backside of a baking pan, anything metal that we can take these magnets one by one, keeping them far away from each other and setting them around the perimeter of the pan. What this does is makes your life so much easier and more convenient when installing our magnet shades. It also prevents the magnets from jumping together or colliding. It's important to note that we have 2 different size interior magnets that we'll be using today on this windshield install. First off, we have the 1/2 inch, and those magnets will go in the corners and provide a little extra pull strength when you're installing with the rod. Down the sides and every other interior location are going to be the 3/8 magnets. All right, now that we have everything ready to go, we are going to go ahead and dry fit the interior magnets. So we'll have one person on the inside of the coach and another person on the outside. And what we're going to do is place those interior magnets without actually exposing the adhesive. That way we can ensure a nice and tight fit before we install those interior magnets. Here at the shop, we have the luxury of using a scaffold for all of our installs, but a ladder will do just fine and get you the same exact install result. So the first step in installing the magnet shade is going to be cleaning the perimeter glass on the inside with rubbing alcohol and a microfiber towel. What this is going to do is prepare the glass and get it nice and clean. That way the adhesive can bond properly to the glass. With Derek on the outside holding the shade into position, I'm going to begin dry fitting the magnets by placing them on the glass without exposing the adhesive. And then again, the 1/2 inch magnet, which is shown in the instructions, will go to your uppermost corner interior location. And I'm going to give Derek a knock, and now we're going to go to this side. With the interior magnets dry fitted, we're going to go ahead and scoot them towards the edge of glass. What's important is that we get them all the way to the edge and then center with the pocket. So you don't want them too low, you don't want them too high, you want them right in the middle of the pocket and scoot it all the way on the outside. What this will do is pull the corresponding magnet that's in the shade to its outside edge, resulting in a nice and tight magnet shade. With the magnets properly fitted on the inside and scooted to the most outward location, we're going to take the opportunity to come on the exterior of the coach and ensure that this magnet shade is nice and tight. We eliminate all the wrinkles that we can, and also make sure that everything is symmetrical and square relative to the windshield. Now that we have the shade dry fitted with the interior magnets, it's time to go ahead and place those magnets. So what I'm gonna do is work one magnet location at a time, removing it from the glass, exposing the adhesive, and setting it to the glass. Before we stick these interior magnets, make sure that your outside helper understands that as you move through each magnet location on the inside, setting the magnet, that they need to apply pressure on that corresponding shade magnet as you're working down the line and installing each magnet. What this does is it pins that magnet in the shade in the correct location. That way you get a nice and tight install. When placing the interior magnets, what I like to do is hold the magnet firmly without touching the exposed adhesive and take your knuckles against the glass. Use that as leverage. That way the magnet does not jump out of your hands into the glass. All right, so with the interior magnets now permanently set, we're gonna shift our focus towards placing the exterior magnets. The reason why we are using exterior magnets along the top of this glass is because there is interference. Now at Magne Shade, we consider interference any area of glass that is inaccessible from the interior. So the true edge of glass is here on the outside, but on the interior, there's a bulkhead or cabinetry that is blocking about this much glass from being accessible. So on the inside, we literally cannot get an interior magnet all the way to the glass true edge, which is why we go ahead and install exterior black magnets. That way we can cover the full vertical of glass. So the first thing we're gonna do is locate our magnets, put one on each pocket location, get it into position, and then we're gonna get into the cleaning of not only the magnets, so that way we can put adhesive on them, but also the glass. When placing the exterior magnets, it's important that specifically for exterior magnet locations, that we get that magnet in the center of the pocket. Before applying adhesive to the magnets, we're gonna go ahead and clean them with the same rubbing alcohol that we used on the inside of the glass, just getting them ready to receive the adhesive and making sure that everything bonds properly. So now we're gonna go ahead and place the adhesive on the magnets. It's important to note that we don't wanna touch the exposed adhesive with our fingers. They're gonna pick up any oils from the skin and could potentially compromise the bonding process of the actual adhesive. In my opinion, one of the most important steps in installing your Magne Shade utilizing exterior magnets is going to be the cleanliness of the glass. And the best way to achieve that is by using isopropyl alcohol combined with 4/0 steel wool. With 4/0 steel wool in hand, go ahead and spray it with isopropyl alcohol and then buff the areas of the glass where the magnets will be placed. What this does is it strips the glass of anything naked to the human eye that can restrict the bonding process. After you buff each location, simply wipe it with a microfiber towel. Once the glass is cleaned with 4/0 steel wool, go ahead and spray it one more time with alcohol and wipe it clean before applying the silane primer. So with the glass surface now cleaned by the 4/0 steel wool, the very last step before actually placing the magnets is going to be spraying the glass with the silane primer, which is included with the Windshield package. So what we're going to do is spray each magnet location where the magnet will be placed and then wipe it with the microfiber towel. What's important to note is that after you spray it, you just want to wipe it one time, and that creates a moisture barrier that allows adhesive to bond properly to the glass, especially in humid conditions. So to place these exterior magnets, I'm going to start with the center of the shade. What I'm going to do is first place the center two and then work left to right and ensuring that the shade stays nice and flat throughout this process. Because the adhesive is pressure activated, I'm going to go back on each magnet location that is exterior and apply ample amount of pressure for at least a minute to 2 minutes on each magnet location. What this does is ensures that the adhesive sets up properly and gives you a complete and quality install. I would even recommend repeating this process a few times throughout the first 24 hours of install. Now that we have everything installed, I'm gonna go back and actually pull down this top horizontal of shade fabric where the exterior magnets are located. And the reason why is the exterior magnets need to cure for at least 72 hours. We would even recommend 5 days if possible. That way we can ensure that the adhesive bonds properly. So we're gonna leave the shade just like you see it here, and we're actually gonna keep it on. That way the interior magnets can pull against the glass. So the interior magnets have the adhesive being pulled and compressed towards the glass, which is a good thing. And then the shade is off of the exterior magnets, which is also a good thing because we don't want to stress that exterior adhesive as it's beginning to bond properly. And just like that, your Magne Shade is installed and you're feeling the effects of a cooler and more comfortable interior. Now, if you have any questions about what you saw in today's video, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help.